Hello, this is Mrs. Mills, your instructor for English 111, and I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk to you about the quiz in this module pertaining to comma splices and how to fix these run-on sentences. All right, so I'm starting in your handbook, the Everyday Writer. The quiz, or the questions for the quiz, are going to be on page 359, and I'm just double checking all my notes so I make sure I tell you the right thing. I got the Moodle page here. I'm just going to make sure everything's good. You're starting on 354, and you're going to go through page 360. The quiz is actually on 359, and you're going to do the indicated numbers. Numbers 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9 in exercise 36.1. All right, so here it is. Okay. And you're going to do those specific numbers. But I wanted to kind of clarify the directions real quick. The directions say, using two of the methods in the chapter, revise each run-on sentence or each item to correct. Here in Moodle, I've said, please follow the directions given at the top of the assignment and use each method at least once. And those methods are titled in green. So the methods that I'm talking about are located on page 355. And that's where the green reference comes in. See right there? Okay. And I would like you to use each one of these methods. Obviously, you're going to repeat a couple or a few of them, and that's fine. But point blank, don't correct each sentence the same way for the entire quiz. You will get points off if you don't use at least each method once, okay? So let's go to page 355. If you need to pause this video and get your books out, if you'd like to print off the directions like I did and come on back, that's no problem. So if you'd like to pause and go get your materials, great. I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Awesome. Now, the methods that I'm referring to, again, are on page 355, and I'm going to read those for you. Number one, separate the clauses, the independent clauses, into two sentences. Real quick, remember, another name for a sentence is an independent clause. So if you see independent clause or main clause, that is fancy English jargon for a complete sentence. All right, take that to your cocktail party and wow your friends. All right, so I gave you that chompchomp.com website. It's Grammar Bites, it's grammar practice in one of my Moodle announcements, and I highly recommend that you go through those exercises. It's a really great website. They give you sentences, the multiple choice, and then if you get it correct, they'll give you an explanation. If you get it incorrect, they'll give you an explanation about what you did wrong or what you did right. So I really do recommend that website, chompchomp.com. And it's called Grammar Bites. That's the name of the website, but the address is chompchomp.com. Okay, great. So again, there are 6 methods in your Everyday Writer on how to fix comma splices and fuse sentences, basically run-on sentences. You're going to use these methods and these styles and fix the incorrect sentences in exercise 36.1, okay? So the first method, or the first strategy to fix a comma splice or a fuse sentence, is separate the clauses into two separate sentences. And then you have an example with education. The book has kept that education sentence example through the whole method box here in the book. The second strategy is to use a coordinating conjunction, otherwise the mnemonic known as fanboys. F for, A and, N nor, B but, O or, Y yet, S so. Fanboys, those are the coordinating conjunctions, as you can see on number 2 of your book. So the mnemonic, to remember it, fanboys, and each letter represents a coordinating conjunction. Number 3, use a semicolon to fix a run-on sentence or a comma splice. Flip to page 356. Number 4, use the independent clause strategy right here. And number 5 kind of links to that using the dependent clause. When you use the dependent clause, you're going to use subordinating conjunctions. And those are located on page 295. So when you see that list of words on page 356 in the number 5 example, they've used the word because. And if you flip back to 295, because is in the subordinating conjunction list in the middle of the page, okay? Education is an elusive word because it often means different things to different people. So once you use that subordinating conjunction, you can tie the two sentences or independent clauses together. Now, you don't need a comma if your subordinating conjunction is in the middle of the full sentence. If you're using the subordinating conjunction at the beginning, the first word, for example, we'll keep the word because. So if you were to move the sentence around and say, because education is an elusive word, comma, it often means different things to different people. So if you're using that subordinating conjunction at the beginning, you need to utilize a comma at that break in the sentence, usually between the two sentences, the two independent clauses. But you don't need a comma when it's in the middle. Okay? And then the last one in this book is using a dash. All right? So, again, subordinating conjunctions are found on page 295. All right? So, for your quiz, read all the directions, only do the indicated numbers in 31.6, and use each method at least once. So you're using a semicolon at least once, you're using the separated period new capital letter at least once, you're using the coordinating conjunctions at least once, you're using the subordinating conjunctions, the dependent clause at least once, the dash, and also the transitional expression if you want to use the semicolon and a transitional expression. You can also look those up in the text. To use a transitional expression, you got to use the semicolon, the actual transition, and then a comma at the end, okay? And I can give you an example, and I wanted to do one example before I left, okay? So, this is number 7 on page 359. Don't throw your soda cans in the trash, recycle them, okay? So what you're going to do is use one of these methods that we talked about on page 355 and 356 to fix this sentence. So let me do one of the strategies, okay? So we have 2 sentences here. Don't throw your soda cans in the trash and recycle them. Those are 2 separate sentences, but the mechanics of the sentence, they're incorrect, so we need to fix this up, okay? So one way I could do this is with a semicolon, okay? And it separates the 2 complete sentences. Another way I could do this is with a comma and a conjunction. Don't throw your soda cans in the trash, so recycle them. Oh my goodness, that doesn't sound good. Let's fix that up. You know what? That's a really good example. Just because you have fanboys or coordinating conjunctions doesn't mean they're going to make sense. So, before you start throwing words in, make sure they sound correct, because if they don't sound correct and the sentence is mechanically correct, the sentence is still incorrect because the meaning is kind of skewed, okay? I don't know if a coordinating conjunction would fit in there properly. that's a really, really good thing to think about. Will each method fit properly? Okay, so always think about that, because if a coordinated conjunction, if a fanboy doesn't make sense, you might not use that method. Okay. Transitional expression, I just said that. All right. Okay. Semicolon. Here we go. This makes a little bit better sense. Transitional expression. Don't throw your soda cans in the trash. Furthermore, recycle them. Okay? So you have the semicolon. You have the word, you have the transitional expression word, and then there's a comma right there. This sounds a lot more fluid and effective than the coordinating so, and, or but. So it's really a good idea just to reread everything and make sure it makes sense. Okay? Well, those were my two examples. If you have any questions, let me know, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the comma splices and clarify any directions on the quiz. And you guys have a great day. Please read all the directions for the quiz, you know, double space, Times New Roman, 12-point font, all that good stuff. And you guys have a great day.